Hello, this is Ada Ray from Bricks Maven, and this is part 9 of building a one-page wellness spa website. Okay, guys, if you've been following this series, it's kind of long due to the fact that I find myself experimenting with a lot of different structures, layouts, ideas, and I think the actual goal of the video was to actually to show that part, and I didn't know how it to actually go once I really get into it, but I noticed that videos become quite long, and I've edited quite a few stuff out to maybe speed it up a little bit. But I was thinking it might be best to, from here on, I'm just going to create the sections off screen. Some I will film, some I won't film, and then I will just maybe do like 2 sections every time in the video just to speed things up a little bit. If you were actually enjoying the creative process, that would be something I would think of doing more often. But in this video, I still want to speed things up because I don't want this to become like super long videos that you need to watch, because we all have things to do in a day. But I still want to give, just show the behind the scenes that a lot of thought goes into when you're creating a website, and at the same time make it fast paced. So I know there might be 2 kind of people viewing this video, and that is like those that just don't have a lot of time, want to watch something quick and get an idea how something's built, and some might want an in-depth video. I prefer in-depth videos because it only shows the behind the scenes and shows you how you think about things, and it can help you learn a lot of skills, processes, etc. Okay, with that being said, I have taken the time to make a lot of changes on this design again, because I told you it's a creative process. You don't really set on a specific, obviously I have guidelines, but if I don't like something, as you've seen, I've changed a lot of stuff also in the previous videos, and I've changed some fundamental things again. And in this case, okay, to show you the changes that I've made, I tweaked the font. As you can see, I changed the font. I was trying to bear with that font. At first I liked it. I liked it as when it was as in the logo. I liked it as a header, but the more I was working with it, I also noticed that font type was quite limited. It didn't have a lot of font weights. So I decided to switch it up. I changed it. This is the railway font. And I also changed the body text to, it was open sans. I changed it to cabin. So these are all Google fonts. You can all find them and you can use them yourself. So that's the changes I made. So I feel that the font is much bolder. I also made this larger, and yeah, I made some changes that I'm going to show you guys. Let's just dive in. So in the first design, this is now looking different, right? So here I actually gave this a background, and because it was just floating around a little bit. So I just said, hey, let me just give it a nice background, nice spacing. And now this feels more cleaned up. I initially created different kind of illustrations, but I was like, hey, I must not forget this is an editorial design. So it should be actually very clean, and having illustrations on a editorial design it's not that it's not possible, but it's mostly very clean, elegant looking. We can have little fonts like this, no problem. Even hand-drawn fonts, icons, it's not an issue, but having actual illustrations, yeah, I thought it was maybe a little bit much. So I spent a lot of time thinking about those illustrations. Basically, you saw that in the previous videos, but I just cut them out. I just wanted it to be just clean, focus on the content, and having very nice looking images to support the content. So support the copy. Anyways, in this you can see, if you compare it to the last video, it now has a background, like I said before. And yeah, this is the problem section. So this is where the reader can identify themselves with the issue that they're having, that we can actually fix for them. So we scroll on to the solution section, and in the solution section, as you can see here, I was struggling at first to actually structure the text, the copy, because it's the way the copy was the copy set up, right? It had like two this was like a list, and then it had a list again. So I had to find a way to structure this. So this also took a while, and these are the little things that I say. Filming it on the screen, it will just take a long time. If it was like, if I was doing a live, it would make more sense. But if I want this to be like quick, it's okay. It doesn't need to be quick, but just educational, but still stay on topic and not show a little bit of the creative process and just move on. Then, yeah, it's just the videos just become way too long for that. So this is the solution section. We have a nice image and we have some copy that just guides the user through the solution, and that they can see and understand that we help them with whatever issue they have. Okay, moving on. Like I said, I'm doing 2 sections. The next section is the guided service section. So basically this section is not showing them a specific service, but actually the problems that they have, because problems lead to solutions, and the problems is what people mostly search for, and the solutions are actually our services, right? So by actually asking them like, what do you need right now, this will be our top 3 problems problems that people have or search for, right? So I need relief from muscle pain and tension. I want to improve my skin and appearance. I feel mentally drained and need recovery. Okay, so now I don't have like a button, but the whole card will be clickable. I was thinking of adding a link, which I can still do. And this specific section, I created a component. So this is a component. You can check it out you can check it out here. So this component is quite diverse. So you can flip it, and you can also stack it. But it also has the ability to add a link and also a counter. So it's not that it's going to be counting when I duplicate it, but I called it a counter because once I move this into bricks, the way that I'll make it, this component will be able to count. So every time we duplicate it, the number 1 will automatically change to 2, 3, and you know, there. So let me show you real quick. This is a component I created. You can actually hide the media, and by doing that you get a different kind of design. You can okay, this hide the counter, but now I'm showing it. See, you have a counter, so it's 1, and I can also show a link. So you have the ability to have a link. I can also hide the counter and show the image. So this could also be a possibility. Maybe this works a little bit better. Maybe I should actually leave this in and just add a link, and you can actually stack it, right? You also get a different kind of design by doing that. Or you flip it. You can also flip it, but I don't have a flip stacked version. So we're just using the default. So this is a component I made here, and I think I'm also going to add the link here. Why not? I think it just looks a little bit better. It looks also more complete now. Okay, so this is it for this section. And here is a section where it's quite clean. It's straight to the point, but it might feel a little bit empty, which is not an issue because we want people to just focus, right? But to elevate this section, I might take that flowery symbol and actually put it in the background. So I'm going to do that. By the way, that's just something that just came to me right now. I was actually planning to leave it empty, but I just thought, hey, let me just put that in. So we're just going to do that. And that's something I can do real quick. And then from there, we can see if it's something that we want to keep or leave out. So I'm just going to put it in. Can I? Yes, I can move it up. Set this here. We set this to ignore auto layout, so it's absolutely positioned. And then we can just put this in here. This is a nice space to cover up this space. Yeah, just place that there. And then we can actually choose to, I can bring it down a little bit or make it a little bit larger. And then I will just drop the opacity to like 50% or 25. I just want it to be subtle. So there you have it. So it's there and it's not taking up too much attention. We could even bring it down even a bit more, maybe 15, just very subtle there, right? So this is it for this design. I'm going to show you the other. I'm going to move to the second design right now. So let's go there. So here we have the second design. Yes, a lot of changes have been made here too. This is larger, just like the other ones. Actually, all of them I made the same tweaks there. The subheading is also larger. What else? The hero section itself is much larger because when I made the heading larger, the buttons were actually almost hitting the USP, so I had to make it higher so that it has more breathing space and it looks much more polished. That way it just doesn't seem like it's cramped. Okay, I made this longer, right? Because I increased the heading, as you can see. It's just more bolder. It attracts your attention. It also looks more cleaner, right? So I'm really enjoying this font here. And here we move to the solutions section. And this one looks also a little bit different. This content has just been copied over from the previous design. And here we have someone just slapping themselves with some moisturous cream or something on their legs. And this will be a slider. So this can be controlled, and it will be like auto looping. And I added a subtle background image to just give it some more visual interest, make it more appealing instead of just a white background. And yeah, this is for this section. And we scroll through, and this is the guided service section. So compared with the other one, this is how this guided section looks, and this is how this guided section looks. This one has no image, reason being because I had like a super uber big image on the side. So I was like, adding more images will make it look, just very busy. And I want to keep it clean. So this image should be enough. You can also choose to add a video here. So there's something be playing on the background. You can do that too. And then you see here the same text. We have the links and we have the numbers. So just three main issues that the customers that visit us, they have these three main issues. And this is what, based on this, they can find the specific issue. So that means that we need to create a specific page for this specific main problems that they have. And then once we go deeper into the issues, we can then present to them the possible treatments that we have for them. So you don't want your visitor to be looking for specific service that fix them. Most of them just know that they have a specific problem. Most of the time, you might have some consulting part of your business where you actually take them through some questions to find out what their problem is. But having it on the website, using the website as a tool to actually diagnose their issues is also a win-win, and it also creates more trust with them because they know that you're the expert, you know what you're talking about, and you can actually help them further. So this might also boost the amount of leads you get, right? So this is a good tool to have. Not only display your services, but also show them, some diagnose or some way to find out what kind of treatment they need. Okay, so this is how this is laid out, pretty clean. And this was it for this section. This is how this looks right now. And if you noticed, I have this sandy brownish color, and the images actually reflect that the skin tone, right? The skin tones and the colors we have, because I'm not really using that in the design here, but obviously the buttons have it. And I'm actually thinking, should I also add a button somewhere else? Like there's a book an appointment here and here. And actually this section don't have any book an appointment yet. Okay, this one is leading to find your treatment. So I was thinking maybe I could add something here. I don't know. Does this have a call to action section in it? No, it doesn't. Okay, but it's possible that this section could also be a book your appointment call to action button. Okay, but that is it for this section. And I find I'm really liking this type of style of presenting, because basically I've already done the work. If I had to actually do the work, because building all this took way too long to show you guys. I tried so much stuff because I keep on just experimenting, but I'm still trying to stay true to the way the initial design was. Because look, for example, this specific section, or this one on top of it, right? Let's go back to the wireframe, and you'll see that the stuff that I added in and the stuff that I took out. So this is basically already full screen. So we basically have the only changes I made is I made this longer, right? I have the heading, I removed the accent heading, I removed the text, I removed the buttons, and I added an extra component here. So that extra component is all that I need to create to add to this section, but the rest has already been done, right? I just need to make some tweaks. Okay, base, I think it's the image is already set to 100%. So I think if I enlarge the amount of content here, it will stretch automatically. So there's not much change I need to do. And this, I actually flip this, right? Put a slider on the right, put the content on the left. Some little designs I need to make, some lists I need to create, to make some tweaks, and then this is also done. Obviously using a pseudo element to add that big block of lime green background there, right? And that's it. And basically I might do some little tweaks, but having these patterns are actually giving me the opportunity to skip a lot of the basic work. It's just a little bit of tweaking. Some sections I can just use them the way that they are, but some other section I make tweaks. If we go back to the home page, the first page, sorry, here I'll just delete this image because I didn't use it. And here I actually flip this. So let's look how this specific section looks. I'll also look at this one. Obviously I also flip this one too. But here you'll see, just go back here. Let me just compare the two right here, right? So I flipped the list, I kicked it out. See, the heading is larger. Okay, this section I just had to create it. I tweaked the spacing, right? So in this case, the grid gap that is here will be much wider, and the image will have a specific fixed width. I can also give the content a specific fixed width, which I'll be using X content so that it scales down. And that way I'm using grid, so I'll just I'll use a 12 column grid, and then I'll just divide it on the grid. So for example, maybe the image will be set to like 4 columns and the content will be set to like 6 or 7. And then the space that is left will be the spacing in the middle. And then I will just take care of the responsive after that. So those are the changes I will make to the section, but still at the end of the day, having the base patterns is already a win-win. And most people might just use it the way they are, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you want to give your design, if you want to take it up a notch, right, you need to still spend some time tweaking things, changing things, because the content that is provided to you, or if you write your own content, will never always completely fit into the specific pattern. Because let's think about it. Patterns were created based on the information that it needs to be. I think it's a form doesn't follow function. I don't know if I said that correctly. But if we have a specific form and it has to function a specific way, in this case, if your content does not fit the design, you have to change it anyways. And that's how people actually come up with these different kinds of designs based on the content, based on the information that needs to be communicated at that moment. Okay, so I've spoken a lot. Let's move on to the last design. This is this one. And here you see, this is much. Font weight has been increased here. What else did I do? Nothing. I didn't do much on the top. Here I made this much smaller. I made the width much smaller because it was like really long. I wanted it to be compact. This was also pretty long. I made it smaller. And for the rest, I didn't really do much here. So let's move it on. Here's the section. As you see, we have the same content here. This is stacked instead of in line. It's stacked. And we have a large image here showing a specific treatment here, where someone that's really relaxed. And you see this section overlaps our service section. We have another background image, someone that's relaxing in the back. And the cards that I created, this is the same, by the way, mind you, this is the same component used here. It's also the same component. It's giving us different background color. And yeah, so think about it. We have this is the same component. They all share the same component. This one too, and this one. So from this component, I have 3 different designs, and there are more designs that could have been created. I've not even used the stacked version. I also played around with it here, using the stacked version, use it here, and see which one really worked well. You know, depending on the spacing, I could maybe use this for something else later. So this will be this is a must component that must be created as a component because I'm using it in so many different ways, right? So there you have that. Am I missing anything else? So this video actually showcased the solution and the guided service section. So these are done now. In the next video, I'm going to go over, we're moving to the service, and let me see my list. I have services and transformation. Service and transformation pattern or section. So in this two cases, what we're going to see is the components that need to be created. I'll have to make this a component. I will have to make this a component, but I would have to see if I can, just thinking, if maybe this can be one component, right? These two could do the same things, but we just have to see because they actually basically have the same setup or structure. So this could be a component that's created. If we go here, this could also be a component, this tab. And this is just going to be a whole image. I'm going to remove the whole alternate text. This section is truly just to show a certain transformation. So that's what it's for. And here, this will be a component, and this will also be a component. And when we move here, the cards will be a component. The design will look much different than what is displayed here. So this will be a component. And yeah, this will also definitely be, could be the same component, just design. And yeah, this will just be what it is. But yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do in the next video. I just want to show something very cool. Let's just look at it in the, that's a load again. This is what we actually have now. Just scroll through it. There you have it, very subtle. I like it. Okay, next. Yeah, this one really grabs your attention. And this background image actually the state that you want to have the customer. So this might be a future goal, just having peace, relax, feeling recharged, and fully present. So also choosing the images you use is so important, right? To get the message across. Okay, so move on. Yeah, awesome. And then we move on to the next. Scrolling through, showing what we have until now. And this is what I wanted to show you in Figma for the presentation. Let's say we presented this to a client. You can actually show the client how this will be sticky, right? Look, see, it's rolling with us. That's pretty cool. So that's actually basic what this section would do. I could also make it so that, I can do it in Figma, but at least in Bricks, we can choose for this, that it scrolls like this, or we could obviously make this stack, right? So the stack cards will stack as we scroll down. So that's also a possibility. Yeah, so, and the other stuff you can do, like you can actually click on these and it will expand with the text here. You can click and this image will change. So you can do that. I better be sure what I'm saying. I'm not sure if you can showcase the image though. I don't know. I still need to develop my Figma interaction skills, but I've done a lot with it though. Okay, so that was it for this video. I hope you guys love this video. I kept it under 30 minutes. I'm actually proud of myself. It actually feels better to make this kind of videos like this way. I think I will film the process of creating the different sections, but if I might then show, maybe I might show parts of it. I don't know yet, but I just don't want to be in the creative process, showing everything, and yeah, it just takes super long, you know. It's just normal. Things don't go the way you want it to go. Yeah. So with that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Do you like this? Is this style better? Although this are we the 9th? I think this is part 9. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this video. Do you like this style of just presenting, showing what I've done? Or do you say, hey, we actually liked you just showing us the whole process? And I'm not going to be making those kind of videos in this specific series, but I might do them with different kind of videos. I think that's much better because they're just it just takes too long. And at the end of the day, we actually want to see just the process, right? You want to see what do you do in Figma, and eventually what do you do in Bricks. So Bricks, maybe when we're in Bricks, I think I still need to skip stuff there. Or maybe not really, because we've already set in stone what we're building, right? So anyways, I've said enough. Please like, share, comment, tell people about this. So spread the word, let people know what we're doing here, and see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.